All right, let's dive right in today. We're heading to the Grand Canyon, virtually, of course.
Always a good destination.
And, you're here with us, which means you're probably looking for something a little extra special when it comes to exploring the canyon.
Right. Gotta make it memorable.
Exactly. So we're looking at these tours that start in Grand Canyon Village, and wow, there are some really cool options. We've got both helicopter tours and Hummel tours.
That's such a great combo. Think about it. You get to see the Grand Canyon from above, get that sense of scale.
Oh yeah, the vastness, right.
Absolutely. And then you can switch gears and get up close and personal, explore the details in a Hummer.
I love that. So let's break it down, starting with that helicopter tour. We're talking about Papal and Grand Canyon helicopters, and the route they take hits all the highlights.
Yeah, you're going to see the Kaibab National Forest, the South Rim, obviously, even the Colorado River.
Wow. And the tour goes all the way to the North Rim too, right?
It does, which is really fascinating because the North and South Rims are so different.
Different? How so?
Well, it's not just about the altitude change. You're actually seeing different geological formations, different chapters in the canyon's history.
Ah, okay, so that's where the geology comes in. And speaking of formations, the tour description mentions some pretty epic sounding ones like the Tower of Ra and the Vishnu Schist. What can you tell us about those?
Well, the Tower of Ra is this incredible sandstone formation. It really does look like an ancient Egyptian obelisk towering above everything.
Wow, I can picture it.
And then you've got the Vishnu Schist. Now, this is seriously mind-blowing stuff. It's some of the oldest exposed rock in the canyon, like almost 2 billion years old.
2 billion? That's hard to even comprehend.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a time before dinosaurs even existed.
That's incredible. And then this helicopter tour, it also goes through what they call the Dragon Corridor. What makes that area so special?
So, the Dragon Corridor, that's where you really see the power of the canyon. It's the widest and deepest part, which means you're getting the most dramatic views, towering cliffs, those intricate rock formations, and the Colorado River winding through it all.
It sounds breathtaking. So that's the helicopter tour, but then you mentioned the Hummer tours, exploring it from the ground.
Yeah, it's like you get two completely different perspectives. You can choose a daytime Hummer tour to see everything in the full sunlight.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can opt for a sunset tour, which I bet has a totally different vibe.
Oh, I can imagine. The colors, the shadows, the mood. And these aren't just any Hummers, right? I mean, these are specially designed for these tours.
Oh, yeah, they're built for comfort. And of course, they're designed to give you the best possible views. The tour includes stops at all the best lookout points so you can really take in those jaw-dropping rock formations, the gorges.
Wait, gorges? I thought we were talking about a canyon.
So here's a little geology lesson. The terms gorge and canyon are often used interchangeably, but there is a subtle difference. A gorge is like a mini canyon, you could say. It's a narrow, steep-sided valley carved by a river.
Oh, I see. So like many of the side canyons branching off the Grand Canyon itself could be considered gorges.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And it's not just about the views on these Hummer tours, right? The guide also explains things along the way, like the canyon's history, how it formed, all that stuff.
Absolutely. Having a knowledgeable guide really enhances the experience. They can point out things you might miss and really bring the canyon to life. And it's not just the rocks and the formations, you're also surrounded by this incredible ecosystem.
Oh, right. So we've got the high elevation forests on the North Rim, and then further down it transitions into more of a desert, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much life to see. I mean, you can picture those California condors soaring above.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Or bighorn sheep navigating those steep cliffs. It's amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's tons of smaller creatures too, lizards and things like that.
Oh, definitely. Lizards, squirrels, all sorts of things. The Grand Canyon is really a biodiversity hotspot.
That makes sense. And, thinking about it, you mentioned the tour guides earlier, and it made me wonder how important as a guide in an experience like this. I mean, can you just kind of experience the canyon on your own?
I think a good guide can really elevate the experience. It's like they're not just driving you around, they're experts in geology, ecology, history, all of that.
Right.
They can point out things you might miss on your own, like a rare flower or animal tracks.
Oh yeah, like hidden details.
Exactly. And they can explain all those complex processes that shape the canyon over millions of years. Plus, they often have fascinating stories about the people who have lived there throughout history.
That's true. Okay, so thinking about everything we've talked about, the helicopter views, exploring in the Hummer, what stands out to you as the most memorable aspect of these tours?
It's tough to choose. For me, it's the contrast. The helicopter gives you that awe-inspiring panoramic view, the vastness, the layers of rock, the ancientness of it all. Then the Hummer tour lets you zoom in, You get to experience the textures, the colors up close, things you just can't fully grasp from above.
I love that. It's like you get the big picture first, and then you get to dive into the details. And speaking of details, those rock formations we were talking about, they're not just pretty to look at, right? They actually tell a story.
Oh, absolutely. Each layer of rock is like a chapter in Earth's history. We were talking about the Vishnu schist earlier.
Yeah, the 2-billion-year-old one.
That's the one. Well, it formed during the Precambrian era, a time of intense volcanic activity. It's amazing to think about those forces shaping the landscape over millions of years. And now we get to see the results firsthand.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, we've covered the helicopter views, exploring in the Hummer, those incredible geological formations. But let's be real for a second. A big part of any trip is capturing those memories. And I have to imagine the photo ops on these tours are pretty amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
Can you imagine standing at the edge of the South Rim with that view in front of you, the sun hitting the canyon walls?
Oh yeah, it would be spectacular. And from the helicopter, imagine getting that shot of the Colorado River snaking through the canyon. Classic.
That's got to be a photographer's dream. Speaking of the helicopter, though, I'm curious, what's it like being up in the air like that over the canyon? Is it a smooth ride, or are we talking like turbulence?
I think the flights are pretty smooth overall. These pilots are pros. I'm sure they know how to handle the air currents and all that.
Right, of course, but you're still up in the air.
Exactly. So I'm sure there's a little bump here and there, but that just adds to the excitement, right?
A little bit, yeah. But honestly, it sounds like these tours would be amazing for anyone, really. Thrill seekers, nature lovers, history buffs.
Photographers, like we were saying.
Oh, right. And that's what's so cool about the Grand Canyon, right? It really does have something for everyone.
Yeah, no matter what you're interested in, you're bound to find something that speaks to you. And these tours really seem to capture that. They offer a little bit of everything, those big picture views, and then the close-up details.
It's the best of both worlds. So as we wrap up our deep dive into these Grand Canyon adventures, I want to hear from you. We've talked about the helicopter tour, the Hummer, the geology, the photo ops. But if you could design your ultimate Grand Canyon experience, what else would you add? A hike down to the Colorado River, maybe? Some stargazing under that incredible night sky? What would make it truly unforgettable? Think about it, because your dream Grand Canyon trip might be closer than you think.